Yeah, hi everybody. Live stream time again. You can see for yourself what the subject matter is going to be about. But as usual, or by default, as is the case by default, I'll simply be discussing miscellaneous. Yeah, miscellaneous subjects as well. Thank you. I know I have mail. Okay, let me see first on if everything is in order. The usual, the drill. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. Okay, yeah, cool. Okay, everything in order. Um, let me see. Yeah. So the general subject for today, like I said, is going to be scams. Now, believe it or not, even yours truly has been scammed back in the day. But the reason for that, I think I've already superficially indicated in the past. The reason for that was because I was in a really horrible state of mind. And the thing is that, in a manner of speaking, there is no direct way to protect yourself from a scam by taking preventive measures and whatnot. The big issue, or just plain issue, is your state of mind or your state of being. If you're in a bad state of mind, then, like I've already discussed in an article and or videos I have of mine called the law of attraction, you're naturally going to attract negativity to you. And getting scammed or getting duped and vice versa is one of the ways by default that is going to happen and or occur. If you're in a bad state of mind, again, it doesn't matter how many so-called regulations or guidelines, preventive guidelines and regulations you follow, it does not matter. You're going to you're not going to do well by default. You're going to get scammed, and that's the biggest issue with any scam channel you'll find on YouTube or any scam preventive website, etc., etc. To the point where it reaches governmental levels, even regardless of which country you live in, they try to place safeguards and whatnot. Like, for example, imagine in the U.S. In the U.S., they, for example, if you they try to apply any kind of measure, um, putting warnings, do not send money on no, go away, thingy, Microsoft Bing. Yeah. Um, they try to place warnings like, do not send money to anyone you don't know. Do not do this. Do not do that. I'm sorry, hold on. I just briefly change something. Yeah. As I was saying, they try to implement or apply all kinds of measures. Do not send money to anyone you don't know. They try to put a cap on it. For example, if you want to send through any kind of money wiring service like MoneyGram and whatnot, I'm sorry, Western Union, then there is a limit by default. You can't send more than like maybe a couple of $100, etc., etc., etc. Even with banks, they try to do so. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how many preventive measures you put in place. The person in question is the problem. Someone that's in a good state of mind is highly, highly, highly unlikely to fall for a scam unless it is something that is so naturally good, similar to an A-list actor, to the point where it comes off as the real thing or as genuine. And in that case, yeah, no one can blame you. But you sometimes see people get scammed. This is like excluding spiritual influences such as black magic and whatnot. You see people get scammed, and you're laughing and thinking to yourself, how stupid does someone need to be? But again, the problem, plain and simply, is that people are in a horrible state of mind. When people are in a bad state of mind, then stuff like this is going to happen to you, and there's nothing you can do about it other than deal with your negative state of mind. Doesn't matter how many preventive measures the government tries to implement, or any kind of private corporation that serves as a third party or a middleman. It just goes on. There is nothing you can do about that because scammers will always come up with new and inventive ways to circumvent these or bypass these these preventive measures, these regulations, call them whatever you want. Because scammers are targeting people that are weak and vulnerable mentally, people that are in a compromised state of mind and state of being, and they that's why they're able to be successful. It purely has to do with someone's state of mind, and you can prevent someone if it is literally their will, regardless of how compromised they are, to undertake any kind of action. You can only go so far. I mean, you can't, for example, prevent someone from sending money to someone else if they literally want to do so of their own free will. Nah, you can advise them, but at the end of the day, they're the ones that metaphorically pull the trigger. And that's the whole problem. But the issue with society, like I already mentioned in a comment on a related video that I did, is the, the issue is that they're looking in the wrong direction because of, I want to say, identity politics or similar. Instead of actually addressing the issue, which is the person in question, they try to tackle everything else around that person that was involved or that revolved around the scam, or vice versa, that the scam was revolved around, but nothing but they don't address the problem directly. It's like when someone talks around the subject rather than addressing the subject directly, as in yeah. And yeah, that's the issue, because obviously, I mean, God forbid, so to speak, that you step on the person's toes by openly just telling them the truth. It's just nonsense. They're trying to come up with some kind of pathetic commercial way or PC manner of dealing with the problem, and that's not going to help. Okay. It's like literally just talking around someone that isn't ill, someone that has, for example, cancer, and they talk around the issue, and they share stories and this and this and that, and what can be done to prevent cancer, but it's not, the issue isn't addressed directly, as in, hey bitch, you've got cancer, this is how you need to acknowledge it first, and then you can deal with it, and to prevent all the negative side effects of cancer. But they don't do that, obviously. They just like, oh, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. They come up with, they just talk around the subject as a whole, and it's from my, especially from my perspective personally, it's quite pathetic, honestly. But yeah, you know, nothing to be said in that department. I'm not gonna waste my time, so to speak. Um, yeah, I think I don't think I've ever shared these stories. So here goes. Back when I was in a horrible state of mind, an instance I can remember. This was lifetimes ago, obviously. Like, let me say, 12 years ago. Yeah, well over a decade ago. For me, 120 years. So literally a lifetime ago, an entire, like literally like a couple of cycles ago. That I got scammed. Long story short, I got scammed by an Indian scammer. No offense to Indians, obviously, but a typical pandit, like Indian priest or shaman. Because back then, to deal with all the negative energy that was aimed at me, I had to, and I wasn't a practitioner yet, so I couldn't deal with the issue firsthand. I had to resort to these guys, stuck counting on these guys, and where I'm currently at in my current so-called country, they you've got these kind of guys on occasion that they come by, and then they put like ads in the classifieds like remove negative energy, remove black magic, blah blah blah, visit Pandit, something something, visit Pandit Sandeep or something like that, and and I'm almost inclined to do the Indian accent. Come by, visit Pandit Sandeep, etc. Yeah, it's hilarious. Yes, but yeah, all jokes aside, I uh, I visited one of these guys, and he just went along the whole nonsense, etc., etc. And there was nothing initially to give away that he was a scam, obviously, until he like pressed the issue, like he wanted me to take out a loan, do this, do that, and I told him no. I applied. They told me that I don't qualify for a loan, and I told them, so you can stop whatever you were doing. Let's just leave it the way it is, okay? But I can't help you anymore. I can't afford you for the rest. And the guy came up with some story that like some malevolent entity is going to get upset that you know that we're stopping, and then he's becoming self-aware that we stop with the so-called ritual, and he'll get upset that we threaten to remove him, and that will make things worse. And I told him, yeah, listen, I already tried. I don't care. I can't help you. Okay, I already went to the bank, etc., and I already did this and this and that. Didn't work. But he barely spoke English, honestly, like really, like horrible, horrendously broken English. Oh boy. And he 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 said something that immediately caught my attention, even despite the fact that I was in such a horrible state of mind. Um, Try harder. When I told him, no, I already tried. Sorry, I already tried getting a loan at the bank. Not gonna work. He was like, try harder, and I'm like, what? Try harder. So this month, this guy's just hell bent on getting that money. And I didn't, like I said, I didn't end up losing a lot of money, like $50 and whatnot. I mean, back then, yeah, it was a lot of money to me, but not like the world is gonna end kind of money or anything like that. Nothing that warrants a monstrous disaster or similar, or that warranted such. And all of a sudden, like I was scheduled to go by again in a couple of weeks, and then when I arrived there, everything was gone. Like the house was completely closed up, boarded up, everything. And there was a cab company across the street, and these guys caught wind of what happened because they knew how these places operated. But of course, to save face, I did not. As a means of saving face, I did not. I didn't tell them what happened because they asked me, "Did you like give them in advance, etc.?" Because I was like, "Yeah, these guys know what time it is. They know how it worked." And they started like briefly, not laughing, but they started smirking slightly. And then they took a look at the house and they were like, "But how can a guy lie to you like that? The guy's a spiritual healer." And I'm like, "No, it's fine. Never mind." And I simply walked away, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I simply threw away all the crap he gave me, and I cut my losses, and that's it. Plain and simple. I said to myself, no, this guy's a scammer, cut my losses, and so on and so forth. Because he told me that I had to like wire money through Western Union to someone and whatnot. And I had to call someone in India, and I asked the guy, like, did you receive the money? The guy was like, yeah, I received it. Um, and when the whole thing was going on, I called Western Union and they told me, I'm sorry, unfortunately, we can't like reverse. Obviously, we can't reverse the wire. It already went out. He already picked it up, etc. I was like, okay, now fine. Just a matter of cutting my losses and moving on, and that's exactly what I did. So it wasn't a big deal. But even after all these lifetimes, so to speak, I still remember that. And let me see if I remember anything else. Yeah, I sorry. I also remember a situation in which I got scammed because there was a mod on Facebook in 2015. Almost got scammed, almost, mind you. I long story short, there was like someone impersonated a model that I really liked, and she promised to give me a private show. Honestly, bluntly put, this is just an example of what kind of trouble horniness will get you in. And in my case, I really like that model, and she was like, I give out private shows to some of my fans and blah blah blah, etc. I was like, okay. And I just didn't think, honestly. uh, I thought, bluntly put, with my genitalia. I didn't think with my mind, using my head. And and she like got me to sign up for a bunch of subscriptions that were like some kind of that were Ponzi schemish in nature. I forgot the model's name. This was like a long time ago. Like I said, this was like 2015, like 9 years ago. And I ended up getting charged because she told me, you're not going to get charged. It's just a thing. It's like just a sample. And I still got charged on my card. And I told her I got charged. Like I said, common sense told me immediately that no, listen, this is a scam. But I still, for some reason, I still went ahead with it. Honestly, like I said, I simply my level of arousal exceeded my logical thinking capacity. The only time in my life that has ever happened, honestly. But again, back then, even it was 2016, and I was still I was doing better mentally, but I still wasn't in the best place you could be in, so to speak. And I went ahead with the thing, and let me see what happened exactly again. Yeah, and she told me to subscribe or to sign up for another plan, and it just went on like several plans, and it kept happening and happening. And I stopped after a while, and I when I caught on, but I didn't say anything initially. I was like, no, I know what I'm gonna do. I made some calls, etc. Immediately, because I had to like call several numbers to get all of those subscriptions canceled, etc., etc., etc. And after the whole situation, I one or two charges showed up again, because that's how, bluntly put, worthless these so-called thingies are. These situations are. They 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 it essentially has like a trigger effect, where it like a ping pong effect, where it jumps from one thing to the other, and it just goes on. It jumps from one thing to the other, and afterwards, like after 2 weeks, some other charge showed up, and I had to place a call again. And I said to myself, if I see one more random charge show up, I'm simply going to block my card, file a fraud report, and request another card. End of story. Because I could do so with my bank back then. But it didn't come to that. I said to myself, okay, no problemo. Didn't come to that. Now back to the situation. I ignored this so-called woman, this imposter, and I and she after like an hour I got back to her, because she was still like, with the whole, she tried using sweet words and whatnot, baby, where are you, etc. And then I told her after an hour I'm back, and she was like, oh, okay. I was like, I've got some interesting news for you. Let's just say I caught on to your whole nonsense, your whole bullshit, and all of your so-called work was for nothing, because I reversed all the transactions, etc. So I'm not going to get charged for anything. I already placed all the calls and had every subscription, you bullshit subscription you signed me up for, or you had me sign up for, canceled or reversed. So I'm not getting charged anything, and you can go fuck yourself, you worthless scammer. And that scammer couldn't say anything. Scammer was just like, okay, LOL, boom, and then immediately either blocked me or deleted the account altogether. Um, Other than that, I can't think of another situation in which I got scammed. Huh. Okay. No, I can't really think of another situation in which I got scammed. Uh, like I said, stuff like this is prone to happen to you. I repeat, stuff like this is prone to happen to you if you're in a negative state of mind and whatnot. There is nothing you can do about it. Okay, but to actually improve in that department. So, needless to say, when I was doing well mentally, not one single thing happened to me where I was like scammed in any way, shape, or form. Nothing. Nothing where I can say, hey, I was legitimately duped or anything like that. Again, a reminder, every person that I've seen gotten scammed, not one of them was in a good state of mind. Like any video I watch online, on any channel or anything, the people that get scammed are always people that are not doing well mentally. They're in a bad or outright horrible state of mind, whether it is something as simplistic, metaphorically simplistic, as being lonely or anything like that. And it's they're always these are the kind of people that get scammed. Okay, I've never seen someone successful, someone that has a good head on their shoulders, or someone that is just overall just plain normal mentally get scammed. No, it's always it's always people that are having a hard time or going through one. um Let me see if there was anything else I could bring up. So yeah, in terms of preventive measures, that's all you can do. There is nothing really. You need to simply heed your own state of mind. End of story. Um, and let me see. Oh no, and that's pretty much it, really. Okay, yeah, no, that's pretty much it, really. People are most likely otherwise occupied, because I'm not seeing anyone in the chat. Not that I mind, or in a manner of speaking, care. So I'm gonna leave it at that. That'll leave this live stream at 20 minutes. Bye bye. Until next time.